recognize the characters on the actual receipt that I've implemented here. So it does have that searching character function. You also have that right here as well on the right. So there's two different things. There's the find tags. That would be organizing it through when you're putting your tags down. But you have the search function here. So if I just want to find meetings, notice all these things that come up in my meetings notes. So as you can see on the right, it has what notebook I'm in. So if I want to look in this notebook, or I can look in other notebooks too, building a collaborative classroom, it's got, if I want to find it there. So it has it in all of your notebooks that you've created. So this is actually a really handy function, especially when you have a notebook that is really populated with a lot of content and a lot of material. Okay, so we're moving along. I guess I should go over tags a little bit more. I've got that written down. So these are your tags. These are your different tags. So you can always make them important. You can do questions. Make sure that when you do importance, though, as a previous educator, make sure that it is super important, because when you're always putting that it's important, I mean, it loses its validity. So, I mean, you can do critical. You can make them all, and you can actually customize your own tag. So those are just the ways it's an easy way to find them. Eventually, you can tag them at the top. So wherever your cursor is where the tag's going to go. So if this is a schedule, I'm going to put this down as a student idea. And then if I wanted to find my tags, I can go back here, and I can go tag name and search for text tags. And it's not letting me search. There we go. So you're able to go by your tag names or your sections or your titles. And perfect. If there's any questions on that, feel free to ask in the group chat, and we can move on. So we're going to talk about Outlook and linked notes. Now, I actually had some issues with my Outlook recently. It's actually started since last night. I was playing around with it, and I couldn't seem to open it up properly. So this is what one of my Outlook accounts look like, but it's not exactly what I want to be showing you guys, unfortunately. But what I want to talk about was the functions within OneNote or Outlook that are really supportive to your OneNote. So what you can do is there's always the search function or the settings function down here. It's the wheel, and then you have your managing your accounts, and you're able to do a lot of really good things with your OneNote. I know, with your Outlook, especially with your desktop version. I know you can create a new signature at the bottom, so it's already in there. I don't know, this is a little off script, Stacy, but what I wanted to show you was basically when you open up your OneNote, or sorry, your email, you should be able to have a section where it says move to OneNote. For some reason, this is technology in its finest. It is not showing for me when you need to show it. So I'm not sure where it's moved to, but you're able to, there should be just a simple button. Toby, maybe you can help me out as to where exactly I've misplaced this or what I've done to remove it. But there is a button at the top. It should be at the top up here that just says move to OneNote. So if you've got a really important email that you need to share, you just click it and it'll say move to OneNote, and it will give you the options as to where you want to move it to OneNote.
Just a second, Walter. Are you using Outlook right now, or are you using the Windows Mail application?
I was using Outlook. Is that what I've done?
Yeah, there's two mail applications. There's the one built into Windows, and there's also Outlook. And I believe the Outlook should have the send to OneNote.
You have it on your screen by chance, Toby?
Let me just pop that up. Yeah.
That's probably what's happened, and I've deleted the desktop version for me. So sorry about that, folks. But So Toby, maybe while you're doing that, I can move on, and if we can come back to you in a minute, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonderful. So that would be, yeah, again, that we'll show you in a minute, but I think that's a really great tool. So for example, if you got a message from the superintendent that you need to distribute to all of your teachers, you can send it right to your OneNote and then go back to your classroom notebook, and then you can distribute the page. Again, if you I would recommend creating a classroom notebook if you want to work with your teachers so they can have access to these sort of things, and you'll be able to control everything. And I mean, to make it simple, it would be like they're your students and you're the teacher, and you're able to control everything and have total access to everything that's there, and you're able to sort of monitor what's going on. So I would suggest having that instead of always sending out links, because, for example, if you decided to take an Outlook email, put it into your OneNote, and then share that, you're adding a couple more steps. So I think, and that would be the case for most things. You're adding that extra step where you either have to share this page, like I mentioned, copy link to page. I think that would be a little bit less cumbersome than just actually having a classroom notebook created with your teachers.
So Coulter, I'll just pop in right now. So to send a mail to OneNote.
So we get to present?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. So I want to send a mail to OneNote. Are you able to see my desktop right now?
No, we can see your face, but you just need to hit present now.
There we go. My screen is just popping up now, so hopefully you can see that. My whole screen, and all right. So right here, so to send one of your emails right to OneNote, you can one way is just to right-click on one of your emails, click on OneNote right there, and that will pop up the select OneNote location, and you can choose which of your notebooks is going to go into. So you can select which one you want to go into. I'll put it in here, and you can send that to your OneNote, just like that. Perfect.
As well, we also have the icon at the top of our email as well. So there's two ways for us to access that.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, so there's always multiple ways to solve for this, and now, as you can see, you get the email copyrighted into my OneNote notebook here. Okay, so that I hope that clarifies any questions you have about that.
Yeah, I will. Hopefully it does. Okay. Great, appreciate that.
Great. All right. Back to you, Coulter.
I've just did a quick troubleshoot, and I've deleted the complete app from my desktop. So that is why I was confused when I was opening up the mail. So it still happens, folks. So there is a little frustration level sometimes that we just need to make sure that we are, we work through. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to support and troubleshoot with you. And we have a large team. So we have 8 people across Canada that are here to help support and use these tools appropriately. So if one of us doesn't get it, someone else will. So good. I'm happy we had a little teaching moment there. Thanks, okay, I can take over the screen again. Okay, so we should be able to see my screen now. So one thing I wanted to talk about was when we're linking the pages. So as you can see that if you do have a page that, or a section that you don't want other teachers to see yet or at all, you can block that and password protect it. So for example, if you have behavior reports that you want to just specifically have access to yourself and not have anybody else, but you still want it in your notebook, your classroom notebook, for convenience reasons, you can easily just block that page so nobody can have access to it. There's a couple ways to do it. The easiest one is to right-click your page and just password protect this section. You can also go to review and password the section. So there's two separate ways to do it. When it comes up, on the right you can see that you're going to set the password. We would set a password for something, and you confirm the password, and all's good. Make sure that when you do leave, though, that you hit lock all. If you don't hit lock all, the password protection won't be there yet. It recognizes that you're still working in the program, so if you don't hit lock all, it won't lock it for you right away. So that's just if you realize that you're playing around with it and you realize that it hasn't locked for you yet, then make sure that you that's the issue. So that seems to be some of the frustration that I get with some teachers, is that why isn't it locked? It's because they haven't clicked lock all. So that's just it's an important thing to know, especially when distributing to parents or distributing to other teachers that you might not want to have access to.
Coulter, we have a question about the password. Can two users share a password on a shared OneNote?
Yes, as long as you have the password, anybody can get into it.
Does that answer your question, Nick?
For example,
perfect.
Perfect. So I can just show you a quick example. I created a little escape room. This is a good way that you can have some assessments for teachers, but you created an escape room and they have to get from one page to the next. So if they had, the first question was, what is 2 plus 2? Here's the page. If I gave you the link to this page, you would be able to do it. You just press enter, enter 4, and it would unlock the page. And then same goes for and it continues. So as long as you have the password, you're able to get into the page. Okay. I guess what I've got here is a TOC for like a table of contents. We're moving along pretty quickly here, Stacy, which is great, I hope. If I've gone too fast, please slow me down and I can go back.
I just have a question, Coulter, and this might be silly. So if you don't mind me interrupting. So if we're sharing, if you and I were sharing a OneNote and I password protected one of the pages, because you and I are sharing the OneNote, do you need that password to access, or are you automatically granted access because you have editing rights?
Well, that's a good question. I would say because I'm not automatically granted password protection. So even though I've edited it, that I still, if it's password protected and I don't know the password, I can't get into it.
Okay.
It's still, so for example, here's my little escape room. Once I hit lock all, so I'm going to password, once I hit lock all here, it's locked for everybody, including yourself. And so if you forget the password, you're in trouble. So write your passwords down, or make it a generic password of some kind. Does that help?
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's important to make sure. I mean, I created an escape room the other day just to show some teachers, and I created a link to one of the answers, and it was a Wikipedia answer, and sure enough, the Wikipedia answer changed. So I'm no longer able to get in because I forgot it was a numeric answer, and I forgot what the number was. So I'm no longer able to get into that escape room that I created because I completely forgot the password, even though I am the creator of that OneNote. I'm sure if you did lose it, though, and you weren't able to get in, I'm sure there's a way around it to troubleshoot and to get support from somebody with the development team that would be able to break into that and get you back in there if it was serious enough. So hope that helps. So what I have here is the table of contents. Table of contents can be just helpful just to create something for your teachers to make sure that they know it, and make sure that they know where it is, and just to organize your things. So if you really wanted to create a table of contents, you just do a new section. And it's just a way to link pages, as I mentioned. Maybe move it over here, and now I can start linking pages to all these things, or I can just link a page to my staff meeting notes. So I want to copy this page. I'm going to copy link to page, table of contents, and here is my January 8th notes. So it's just another way to sort of keep things organized if this is what you want to do. So for some, it could be too much. I personally like a table of contents. I can just click on that and I know where I'm going for or what I'm looking for. You can also change your link. If you don't want to have it say January 8th, you might want to have it say something else. So you just go to Insert and you have link. So notice how it's gray. We need to make sure that we're clicked on a white screen. That is a huge pushback with teachers. They get super frustrated when they see that it just some reason it's gray when they don't know why, and it's because you're just not clicked on the white screen. So now I hit link, and now I can address and I can copy it. I can paste my link, and I want the text to display important emails from And so that's just another way that you can sort of organize this and make sure that educators or your colleagues know where things are. So I've got Office Lens written down here. Office Lens is a great tool for convenience reasons and it's just supporting things. It's your bucket scanner. So before Office Lens came out, I used to use a thing called Tiny Scanner, and it was nice, but you could only take 4 pictures, and you could only import a couple pictures at a time, and it didn't do some of the functions that an Office Lens would do. I would like to maybe share my screen, share my camera, and show something that I would do. Stop presenting, and I'm going to flip my camera around. And switch camera. It's not switching my camera for me. Okay, well, it's not a big deal. I can do it with this way. So what I wanted to do was, say I have a document. I have a scheduled document here, and I just go onto my phone, which is an Office Lens. It's just an app. It can be downloaded from any store for any Android, any phone. It doesn't have to necessarily be. I mean, all Microsoft products are capable across all platforms now, so you can get it from anywhere. This is the icon, and now I have I've got a bunch of different options at the bottom of my phone. So I can do a document, I can do a photo, I can do a business card, I can do a bunch of different options. And now I can take a picture of my schedule. So it's just a simple picture. I can take it anywhere, actually. I can take it like this, and it recognizes, even if I take it on an angle, it will recognize it, and it will crop it into a actual straight little schedule. And then I hit done, and I can send it directly to a OneNote. So this is great. This is helpful, just not even in education. This is helpful for yourself in real things, in real time. If you have to sign any documents and send them back right away, we don't have to use a fax machine or a scanner anymore, or a photocopier. You can do this right away. And so I hit Save All, and then it comes up. I have so many different options on where I want to send it to. I have all of my Microsoft things here. So I have my OneNote, I have a OneDrive, I have Word, I have PowerPoint. I can even send it to my photo library, and I can send it to a PDF or a storage in my OneDrive. So it depends on how you want to send it. And then I have all my emails hooked up to this as well. So I have an Outlook account, I have a Gmail account. I don't know if you can see the screen as well this way, but so it depends on where you want to send it. You can actually even do an immersive reader, which will read back what you've taken a picture of. So that's just another tool that you might be able to. So I'm going to send it to my OneNote, and I'm going to send it to it's just now sending. So in a minute, it should pop up onto one of my OneNotes. Again, you can now take this and send it to your teachers. You can send it to whoever is needed. If it's something, even if you just see something happening that's nice that's going on in your school, you can quickly take a screenshot of that and take a picture, put it into the OneNote, and now you have everyone's able to see it. So for example, if you see a really nice bulletin board or a really nice door that one of your teachers have done, and you just want to, provide some affirmation for them, it'd be nice just to take a quick pic, send it to the OneNote, and now it's in your staff OneNote for them. So there's lots of different ways that you can use this tool. So I highly recommend that you just you sign on to it and get it. Eventually it will send. It usually does it a little bit quicker. For some reason there's some issue with my phone right now that it's just in a loop. So again, technology does fail sometimes, but it's about being patient and going back and trying it again and not getting overly concerned about.
It's okay, Coulter. And you know what? We had asked them to download Lens prior to our session in November. So if you guys want to try that while we're waiting to see what it looks like on Coulter's screen, you can go ahead and take a snapshot. And Nikki, yep. So it goes to a specific page, right? Right, Coulter. It doesn't have to just go to it's not a two-step process. You can actually be very specific where you want to send it.
You can be very specific on where you want to send it. If you want to just send it to, so right now I've got my OneNote, but then it options for different OneNotes that I want to send it to. So I don't have to just send it to I can send it to any OneNote and any section of that OneNote as well. So if I want to send it to staff meeting notes, I can send it to staff meeting notes. If I want to send it to behavioral reports, I can send it to behavioral reports. So you do have that great option to distinguish on where you want to put it.
So yeah, so Nikki, again, another workflow benefit, right? So it's not a two-step process of adding it to OneNote and then moving it over. You can just send it in one shot to the page you want.
I am in a continuous loop here, folks. So I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay, Coulter.
While you're working on that, another great application for the Office Lens is there's the whiteboard option. So if you made a great lesson and have your fantastic whiteboard art up on the whiteboard, you can take a picture of it with Office Lens. It auto corrects all the contrast and everything, and you can send that right to your OneNote. Share it with your students. So it's another fantastic tool for educators.
Awesome, thanks, Toby.
Yeah, and Coulter, there's a question here because we're always about working smarter, not harder. We're all busy. Can you explain what you mean? How it sort of eliminates the need for getting to a fax machine in terms of signing documents?
Okay, so for example, I had to sign my health benefits form the other day. So instead of I was able to get it, they sent it to me in the mail, and I had to return it. So instead of just so I had to sign it. So I signed it and took a picture of it, and then sent it in the mail via email to them. So I don't have to now necessarily. It's got my signature on it with ink. I think that's some of the things that there's some concerns about. Like you can now sign things online or on the computer with the touchscreens, but there are some still concerns about that. So now with this tool, you're able just to sign it and take a picture and send it. Was that you, Nicole, that asked that? Okay, perfect. Good. I hope that helped.
So we have secondary admins online. I can see how that could be used for supporting our co-op students, right? If they have their documents in the school, and if they are doing co-op placements that don't require them to be in the building. I think most of the cases, the kids are still required to come in and be in physical contact with the building to drop off paperwork. But this would alleviate that. They could send that to a co-op OneNote. And then the client signature is on it, their signature, like their weekly timesheets, their client signature as well as their own is on that without having to come into the building. So it supports our learners that way as well.
Yep, exactly. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to demonstrate the exact shot that I sent you guys. Sorry, it's not. It keeps asking me to sign in, and it's never. Of course, you say this has never happened, but it's never happened to me before. So this isn't ideal, but I think we get the idea. Oh, maybe it is. There we go. So we can move on if you'd like. Well, take comments. You know what? I got it. It's gonna go. Perfect. It'll show up in a minute, and I'm presenting now. So what we have going on next is just a quick review for some questions and answers. I wanted to take you guys to what we have as the Microsoft Education community. If we have any more questions about OneNote, we are quite ahead of time. So I mean, we can always go back and check some things out. But one thing that also is just playing around with this is kind of nice. It's just a simple way to add a date. So you can see on my screen, you just click date and up comes the date for you. So that's just, again, working, smarter, not harder. You can also do a timestamp here, and you can do both. So you're able to see who's been able to do that. I know Stacy and we've mentioned about doing a page template. So changing your templates to different styles. All you need to do is go to View and then Rule Lines, and then you have different styles of your pages if you'd like to do that. So you can create, if you want to do a chart, you can do charts. You can create it a little bit differently and do some grids. So this is also beneficial for your teachers to know, especially in the math departments or arts department as well. So you can also change the rule of colors as well. Not that we need to be doing that for aesthetics, but it's just an option. You can also do your color pages. Again, those are sort of aesthetic things that you don't really need, but it is nice, and some kids, sometimes might want to have that.
So this is a good opportunity, everyone. I do want Coulter to show you some of the Microsoft Education Community Resources, the site, because actually I didn't know that community of resources existed and learners, and it's a pretty powerful site to get tutorials and to get support. So I do want him to show us that. But this is a good opportunity. So are there any little things that you're just not sure about because you haven't had time to play or it isn't working for you? We've got, the Microsoft experts are here, so let's utilize them. Do you guys all know how to annotate? To write up a document, insert videos, and make your own videos. I'm not sure what your comfort level is with this tool, so jump right in, unmute your mics, and go ahead and ask Coulter some questions.
So while we're thinking of some questions, I'll quickly show you this, which is I also find a really beneficial tool, is finding recent edits. So if you just go in and you want to see who's made an edit recently, if a teacher's made an edit, or if you've made an edit that you made it 2 weeks ago, but you forgot where you put it, you just go to your history, and it's right there under recent edits. So you're able to find these different, and you can also do it by pages, sort pages by date. So this is just a nice way to sort of see what you've made, and then when you click it, you can see what's happened here. See what's been made.
It's Nikki. We've had some challenges in the last little while. Sometimes things, because we share a OneNote, I give editing rights to everyone. Sometimes things inadvertently get deleted. And so I've been playing around, and Kathleen and I both have been playing around with the recent edits and the restoring. Can you just sort of walk us through that really quickly if there are no other questions? I know most of you probably aren't interested in this piece.
It's helpful, though. I think it's helpful for everyone to just have a quick idea of restoring things that are lost. So usually if it's deleted, it will end up in your cycle bin. So you can see that I've got an Office Lens picture here of a parking receipt that I put in this. So these are my things that I've gone through and I've deleted my sections, some testing stuff. So that would be the one way to make sure. Again, I just deleted these pages. If you delete if I delete like a text, like for example, if I was in my I want to get rid of all this.
So I just want to add some context. So Nikki, it wasn't an actual page that was deleted, right? It was the text on the page that was deleted, because I remember you mentioning this.
Yeah, we actually have both situations happen. Sometimes we've lost text, and sometimes we've actually lost an entire page.
Oh, okay.
So with the text, it's a lot more challenging to get back what's been deleted from the text, because it is a real-time sort of thing. It really is. It's the undo button. That's really the only way that I would be able to say, Toby, maybe you can chime in if you have any more experience with losing just basic text. That would be
right. So yeah, one thing that will happen is if you have multiple people editing the same document, you can overwrite each other's changes if you're doing it at the same time. OneNote will log this as conflicts, and there'll be a little like red icon below the page name and saying that there are multiple conflicts found on the page. You can click on that and we'll have a little drop down menu showing all the changes that have been made in the past. So your lost text could just be from someone else coming in at the same time and trying to write in the same place. So you can still go back and see all the changes that have been done in the history.
Toby, maybe you could just elaborate that a little bit more. What do you mean there'll be a little dot? I think it might just be a question about where would the little dot, or like you're saying, there would be a conflicts on the, and you can drop down the menu. Where would you locate that?
Okay, so it'll actually be right at the top of the screen.
Toby, do you want to share your screen?
Let me show you the screen. I got a page I can just show you right now. Let's show the entire screen.
While you're doing that too, one of the wonderings that we had was when you go back through the file option, you can open backups, and it said something about, like, you know, when things were synced, and you could actually then reopen a previous backup. And I was just looking for my recycle bin, but I think it's because I've been using OneNote and not Class Notes. So I think this switch over to that might make some of those changes as well.
Okay, right. So just to show you one of the, if you have conflicting changes, you'll see on the side of the page there'll be a little icon like this, and at the top saying we could merge some changes. Click here to see the version history. So it'll show you some of what's been happened in the past. Let me see if I can find some other ones. Let's try. I'm just trying to look on some of my OneNotes if there are any conflicts. Actually, I know where I've got some. Okay. There should be. Oh, I think I might have deleted them, but at the top of the page, a little banner will appear saying that there are conflicts found. Yeah, here we go. So this page contains conflicting changes. And you click on this, and you can see all these red items show up. Been changed in the past. And you can go see some of the previous changes, and it'll highlight what's been changed and what the conflicts are. So that might be one of the sources for losing some material there. Does that clarify some of those questions there?
Other than, I think, going back and doing the recycle bin, I think those are
right.
The two options that right now that we are aware of.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, yep. Actually, sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Actually, just one thing while I'm presenting, something I found out the other day, if you don't mind, Coulter.
Fine, fire away.
As a math and science teacher, one thing I really enjoy, if you go to the draw option, you can draw on the page using your pen or even just your mouse. There is an inked math section here, which is pretty cool. So you can just kind of type in an equation, y equals x plus 2. Let's try that. I can insert, okay, so I can write it. But you can also graph this as well. So, equation design, where was he? Right, oh, I just had it. Okay, sorry, it might be in my other one. But yeah, you can also insert some graphs as well, which is pretty interesting. Where was the graphs? Sorry about that. I'll just poke around a little bit and show you. But there are ways to insert graphs right into your Oh yeah, here we did. I did a sample one. Yeah, you can insert that right into your page. So something I was just geeking up with the other day.
Awesome. Thanks, Toby.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
So for the last little bit, I would love to bring you to our Microsoft Education page, just to show you some resources that you might want to share with your teachers, because it's a great tool actually, and I think it's just not as well known, and so they're really building it up and they're really trying to promote it and publicize it. So it is Microsoft, or education.microsoft.com. I do have the link in the end. It's just called the MEC. I didn't seem to put a link there, but is this the video? No, it might just be the screen. I might have just been playing around with this. But it is, I will put the link in there for sure. And it is a great tool for your teachers to use, especially being a little bit more remote, where you guys are located. It's a nice little section or area where teachers can now get some PDs, get some building of some resources. And the big thing that they're really pushing is the Skype in the classroom. So you're able to go on field trips. You can go on virtual field trips around the world with experts in their field. You can go with other teachers as well, and you can filter. Teachers are able to filter it by different ages, different subjects, Skype availability. So maybe if a teacher is going to have a break of some kind or is going to be absent, they might want to set up their supply teacher with one of these sessions, so that the time for writing your detailed lesson plans are a little bit less because you have a Skype session for half an hour that also provides guiding questions, follow-up questions, follow-up lessons. So it's a really nice option to do these sort of things. You can find guest speakers. You can even do mystery Skypes. I saw a mystery Skype happen actually with a second grade class a few months ago, and I was a part of it, and it was really cool. They were on their OneNotes, and they had a few different questions on their OneNotes, and they're all sitting on their little chairs, and they're reading off their questions from their OneNotes to the mystery Skype. And it's just basically they're asking questions on, like, is your climate warm, or where are you located on the equator? So again, it depends on how teachers can connect this to the curriculum, but there's always ways to connect to the curriculum if you're asking the right questions. So there's just some options there. Here you're able to do also, you can get your badges and certificates. Some, especially pre-service learning teachers or teachers that are not necessarily as established, are really benefiting from these sort of tools. There's over 70, there's about 80 different courses that you can take, including things like accessibility. There's ones for 21st century learning. You have Hour of Code. You have some STEM stuff. So it's a really awesome area. And if you just click on one of them, so I'll just click on the Hour of Code, you can see that it gives you the time. It gives you this many points to redeem. So you basically begin to collect points, and you can become a Microsoft Innovative Educator expert, which the end goal is for Microsoft to have more experts teaching how to use the programs, and then they eventually become fellows, and fellows are able to get equipped with a bunch of Microsoft stuff in their classroom. So I think this is where the community is heading and what they're looking for. Again, you can do webinars, you can do courses, you can resources. My team in particular, we are starting webinars. We do a monthly webinar every Monday. It's the second Monday of the month. That seems to be the schedule, and we're just talking about different things. There's actually one coming up in April that is strictly, in March, that is strictly regarding Skype in the classroom. So those things, and there's one in April that we're doing, the May is Minecraft. We're talking about Minecraft and coding and game-based learning. So there's always options for that, and there's some here as well. So you have your quick tips and tricks, which is also beneficial. So if you need to find something, and really here, this is a really great resource as well, finding lesson plans. And you necessarily don't need to create the wheel, right? We're always looking as teachers, as educators, to find things that support us, and then put our pedagogy behind that and deliver it the way that we would like to deliver, but sometimes just generating these ideas. So, for example, you can find a lesson on habitats, and it's a STEM lesson. And then you can go through this and check out all these great resources that are provided. You have videos, and it's just a nice, easy way that you can share things and be a part of this community. So you can see the conversation here. There's been 102 people that have replied to this, and that's just a small little sample of what some things are. So I really do encourage you to try to get onto this website, sort of look around, play around with it, and pass it forward to your educators. I know as when I taught in Dubai for 3 years, we were a Google board, and we were just unaware of these sort of tools, and it's just because we just weren't open to looking at other things. And if I knew I had this, 100% I would have done some Skype things, especially being in a cool place like Dubai. I would have, and having some allegiance to Canada, I would have definitely found some things in Canada to bring back, or to try to Skype with my students and get them just a way to encourage them to learn about different things. So I think it's a really great tool that I really encourage you to check out. What I've done is I put it in the link I put in our website here, but I'll also post a link in our group chat. And we're over here, and it's like there. And so if you're signed in, you're able to already just begin using. You just sign in, and it's a quick Office 365, and your credentials should already pop up. They should already have basically all your information there, and you just need to add in your time zone. If you want to make it the big question I have is, should I make this private, public, or community members only? I suggest making it community members only, but it's up to you on if you want your profile to be seen when you begin to create it. But I do recommend getting community members only and that's only if you begin to add some content. And if you do sign up, I would love for you to put in this promotional code. It's recognized by my superiors that people are going to this website based on talking to me. It's basically just a way to get some metrics for me as my role in presenting these things. That's what I have to do by the end, is try to get some people to come to this website. And if you were able to put my code in, that'd be great.
Coulter, do you want to show them where you do that? Because it's not it's actually under like an Otter place inside that website where you put the code in.
So there's 2 places to put it. I'm going to go in a private window because it's going to log me in.
And it would be nice, everyone, if you could put that code in for Coulter, because he has given us a lot of time in prepping and then in presenting, and he's going to support us in February. So we know that data drives a story, so we can help him.
That'd be great. Thank you. Thanks, Stacy. So yeah, it would just be a sign in or join, or sorry, not join now, but it would be, join now, Office 365. It actually won't usually come up like that. It'll look a little bit different. It'll have, I do have a screenshot of it. It'll look like this. Once you hit the Office 365, you're able, and it actually will, if you're already signed in under your account, it'll give you, your name's already there. Just change a few things, and then it'll say promotional code. That's where you put the code. If by chance you're already in and you didn't do the promotional code, you're always able to add more codes later. And teachers are always able to add more codes. You just go to your name on the right, drop down menu, and redeem code. And you can put the code in right there. And there's obviously I have about 20, or I probably have about 75 codes that I give out depending on the type of PD that I delivered. And what it is again, it's just getting educators to build up these badges and build up enough points and enough things to be recognized as a, so I'm a master trainer. I've got enough points that I build up that I'm able to be a master trainer because I've gone through all these things. So eventually that's where I think Microsoft is heading. You can see the badges that I've earned, and down here I've got my PD certificates as well. So I mean, it's quite nice if you're ever in the, looking to change your role. It's always important to show that you're able to do these sort of things. So I've got a PD certificate for 21st century learning design. It's great. So
Okay, so that only gives us a couple minutes. We have Coulter in the room. So does anyone have any questions about even the simplest thing that you're hung up on, or you're not sure how to do, or you've tried it, it didn't quite work the way you thought it would? Regarding OneNote, is there any questions? Don't be shy. We've got Microsoft in the room today. Okay. So I did. Whoops. Go ahead. Is someone asking a question?
So Nicole, you have that. You're hoping for some feedback about some next steps. Stacy and I have talked about a few next steps for if we do another presentation. Maybe if you gave her some feedback as well, feel free to include me on the email, and we can sort of taper it towards that. Or if you have any quick next steps you'd like to talk about, by all means, we're here. So.
I truly want to thank you. I found today to be really extremely responsive in terms of some of the time-saving features, some small hints that we can be applying as we go through, but also in terms of a couple of the challenges that we've been experiencing. So I really like this format. I think an hour is a perfect amount of time. And I am, as Kathleen is just popping up into the chat box, interested in the class notebook, wanting to sort of think about and do a little bit more reading and research about the pros and cons of both the OneNote and the class notebook in terms of the collaboration piece. So definitely for the rest of the group, we really do want to continue to build capacity. Efficiency is incredibly important for us. So thinking about having you just sort of jot down challenges or struggles that you may have when you're using OneNote or any of the other Office Suite products, areas that we can support, that we can have conversations. I really like this venue. I think it works quite nicely for us. It's 1 hour, and it certainly helps, as Stacey had articulated, to build our capacity. So thank you, a huge thank you from my desk.
So we did look at some of the benefits of the PowerPoint. Coulter and I looked at that, so that might be something you guys are interested in, like sort of the next steps of digging deeper with PowerPoint, or you might want to spend some more time now that we've seen it with class notebooks. So send me your feedback so that we're prepared to meet your needs in February. So it is 4:30, so you're, I guess, free to go. I'm sure if you had a question you wanted to ask Coulter, he would stay on the line for a couple minutes. And I will be sending out an email to review all this as soon as this is done. So thanks everyone for the hour of your time. I know that's time you don't have, so we appreciate that. And give me any feedback, and then Coulter and I will work to design the next session based on that. So have a good night, everyone. And if you want to stay and ask Coulter a question, I'm sure he'll stay for a couple minutes. So thanks everyone. Good night.
So Coulter, it's Nicole again.